Right, so in this lesson, we're going to learn how to draw pretty eyes and the 3/4 view. So as we can see, when the head turns around, we see less of this side of the face because it's getting foreshortened. So we actually don't see the full eyebrow, and sometimes we don't even see the full eye, depending on how far it goes. Now in comic books, a typical practice is to make this eye shorter than this eye here. This is very, very true for any type of like manga or some sort of a manga hybrid. What I usually do though in my personal style is I do shorten, but it's not really shortened. Instead of actually trying to squish the eye and shorten it, what I do is do it in more what reality does. So the eyebrow and bridge of the nose here covers part of the eye there. So the eye is actually continuing over here, but it's being covered by the nose because of foreshortening, right? Because of overlapping. That if you have a shape that sticks out higher, like let's say you have a plane that sticks out higher like this right here, and that's sticking out, then it's going to be hiding whatever's behind it here. So if you have an eye like this, and this plane is being blocked, it's blocking your view. So when you have the nose, you have that bridge of the nose from the front view, right? As this, because this sticks out, and then from the side view, we know the nose goes like this and it sticks out, right? So that sticks out a little bit. It has shape to it, has dimension. And because it's sticking out, it's actually blocking our view as the face turns. Just watch the foreshortening part video before this and you'll see that's what happens to the eye. And so I like to draw it like that right there, bam. Now this is up to personal preference, whether or not you want to draw this shortened like that. I typically leave off this line right here. I don't put any line there. Instead of coming all the way through, it just looks better usually if you just kind of come almost all the way. The same thing here. I leave a little line right here and a little line right there. I leave a gap right between there. I think it looks better. Again, it's personal preference. A lot of comic artists do it. Now another thing you can do here is keep more true to life. So you can come down and then actually draw the eyeball itself. And so your eyelash now is coming here and it's coming off over there like that. You can draw the little bit of the eyelid there. Then you draw the other bottom lines of makeup as it's going back in space, and it coming off like this. So that's one way you could draw it. And the other way is how I just drew a second ago, where you just draw the line coming straight down. It's up to you whether or not you want to draw this foreshortening of the actual eyeball itself when it's open like this. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all it takes. The eyes are pretty much the same over here, as you can see. The only thing that really changes from this view versus the front view, there's no reason to go over things that we already know how to do. So if you already know the front view, the main thing is the eyebrow that changes. But on this side, what really changes is sometimes you'll add a couple eyelashes to this side over here like that. You'll still have the eyelashes on the bottom. And in that, the things stay the same. There's a little bit of foreshortening in the eyeball itself here, so it becomes a little more oval. Not quite as oval as the side view, obviously, but a little more oval like so. It's just kind of remind me that's where the highlight would be. Now the eyebrow, remember that you have a thick part of the eyebrow here. I usually draw it to where it goes kind of thin, and a thicker part here. It really depends on eyebrows, but typically they go from thick to thin. So if you just want to draw an eyeball like this, they go from thick to thin like that. So the thick part is here, right closer to the face, and then it rolls around and is disappearing like so. And that's how you get that look there. Now there's different kinds of eyes you can draw from the 3/4 view, and this just has to come with emotion. So do you want to make them look more angry or more seductive and that kind of thing? So you can take the eye and you can, really pull the eyelid down more, make it to where you actually see part of the eyelid. And notice in 3/4 view, it kind of changes shape a little bit like that. See how I have this shape right here? Notice I leave a lot to be said by missing a line, even in the nose. We'll go over the nose next, and then I can kind of hint at this eyelid here. I don't draw the whole entire eyelid. I don't draw one solid line like this. Doesn't look as cool. Do something like that. I think it looks better, and you'll see it used in comic books all the time. This breaking of line is a really important thing to learn how to do. Also, when you're coloring the eye, so first I color the whole pupil, and then I color like this, like a curved line. And that's important. That's the basic shape. And then I might color a couple lines like this. That's usually left to the colorist to do that. Then you add the little dots to the eye like that. And now you have a pretty looking eye. Let's go ahead and make the makeup here a little bit thicker. All right, and so now you have a kind of closed eye here. It's not super closed, but it's a little bit closed, like she's being just a little bit sexy. And you can draw different shapes of eyes and things like that. There's tons of different shapes to choose from. You know, you can do more puppy dog eyes. You can do all kinds of eyes. So one common shape here is you kind of come up like this. You have this kind of shape right here. It's kind of this more puppy dog shape. Like so. And then usually when the people draw these kinds of eyes, they'll give them really big pupils. It's kind of almost like a slight manga fusion, like that there. And you can see how it gives her this kind of more youthful, playful look, and it's like a really happy kind of bigger eye. And typically you're going to draw the eye bigger when you do it that way. Another eye you'll see done in comics is often for like villains. And so let's say you have a villain woman, and they're all, obviously the villain women are still going to be sexy and pretty. But what they might do is they might actually draw this really, the shape of the eye is going to kind of be like this here. And even though the eye's kind of closed, they don't draw the lid very high. We're going to come down with the makeup here a little bit, make it nice and thick. Most of the eye here is being covered. That's that kind of that longer kind of eye that you'll see done a lot with like villains and things like that. And sometimes with the good people as well. You can have a good person that has that more, but it kind of gives it more that kind of, I don't know, I guess the evil look. And of course you draw the eyebrows down lower and make them more mean. And just another idea what that might look like is you can go a little bit more oval with it. So you can kind of come at this turn here, kind of have this shape right here. We're going to come here. We're going to leave the middle part out this time. Oftentimes there'll just be one, especially when you're drawing, in a smaller panel where you can't really see a whole lot of the face because it's smaller. Actually, we're going to go really, really close. We'll come like this right here. And we can get something more like that there. And I would probably go a little bit bigger, a little bit longer with it. So I was zoomed in, so it's kind of hard to see the overall perspective of the eye there. Of course, then we'd have to change the side to match, otherwise it doesn't look right. And what they'll do oftentimes with these kinds of eyes is they kind of go up at an angle a little bit. And then we're going to have the eyebrow gum down and up. So it's going to start really low like this and come up like that. A little bit of the lid. Again, most of the eyes being covered. And you might not want to come, all the way off like that with it. So if not, then just go ahead and do that typical foreshortening thing here. But it's still going to come outside. like so. Right, so those are some different kind of ways you can kind of think about drawing eyes in 3/4 view. And it's really the same way as you would draw eyes in, pretty much any other view. And I'm going to make this eye just a little bit bigger still. It's just you have that little bit of foreshortening going on. Right, so that's it. Next on, we'll move on to the nose and how we can kind of draw the nose in 3/4 view. It's pretty simple. There's a couple different tricks, different types of nose you can draw, especially when you have slightly different views of the 3/4 view. Sometimes when you're at a slightly less angle, you'll see a little more of the nostril on the other end. I'll show you what that means in a little bit. All right, so for now, go ahead and do the exercises, and here's the video for your exercises.